right, now, listen up.
3, 2, 1.
It's showtime.
That's great.
This is ridiculous.
99.3 The Truth.
You can't handle the truth. Right now.
Ooh.
That's the stupidest thing I ever heard.
Let's do it.
Hit it. It's time for Mac's World.
And here we go.
Everybody, let's get it started. Let's get it started.
Call Mac 244-0077 or text 809-0993.
It's showtime, everybody! Showtime!
Exclusively on 99.3 The Truth.
7 minutes after 3 o'clock on the 6th day of June in the Lord's year 2016. Ooh, too many sixes. Don't like that. What was it the other day? I told you that something. Well, anyway.
Was it when it was the 16th on the 16th of the 16th or something?
No, the article that you helped me write.
Yes.
For the Register.
Yes.
When I first checked how many words it was, 666. I got that baby down to like 609 in a big hurry.
That's right.
All right, the yellow man's here. Mike Carbone, who is our what are you? You're
Chief Operating Officer.
Chief Operating Officer.
That is an official title, and it sounds very official.
Yeah, he's the Chief Operating Officer over the entire Truth Network, which is now, 14 stations? 17?
We've got 22 signals on 12 stations in 7 markets.
22 signals.
12 individual stations, 7 markets.
Man.
For those in radio land, Mac's writing it down right now for future reference.
Yeah, well,
so he could,
I need to
see
that.
Those numbers.
12 signals in 7 markets.
We have 22 signals. Some of them have 2, an AM and an FM,
right.
Things like that.
Okay, well, thanks for being here. Your son Grayson is also with you, but he's roaming the food court, I would imagine.
He's already down there. I love it. I arrive local time 2:58 p.m. I'm on the air at 3:07. It's all about radio.
That's how we do it. Frank?
It's also D-Day, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
June 6th.
That's it. That's what I was thinking it was.
D-Day.
Yeah, because my dad's birthday was Saturday, and it's always a couple days before.
And it's also my 29th anniversary today.
Of being married?
Yes, sir.
Well, congratulations. Here, this could be the whole show. How'd you make it work that long? I'm very interested.
Oh, my goodness. Because from the beginning, we've operated under the assumption that marriage is not about finding the right person. It's about becoming the right person. So when you go into marriage looking for someone to fulfill you or to make something happen in your life or something like that, it tends to lose its shine over time. But when you go into marriage trying to become something for the other person, you can continue to renew that all the time, and it just doesn't have an ending. So 29 years, 59 years, 159, whatever we get out of it, it'll always be new.
One of my favorite Macisms is marriage. Marriage would be much better if the husband and wife clearly understood they were on the same side.
Agreed.
Yeah. All right. And poor Chris. His wife left him.
Yeah. She just got on the plane, took my daughter, got on a plane, and just left.
That was it.
This is going on because I left my wife on our anniversary.
My goodness.
To be here.
Yeah.
Maybe your wife is heading for my wife, and they're going to go have fun somewhere else.
That's right. She's headed off to North Carolina. They're going to go party down.
All right, let's get to some of the local news stories before this show goes completely down the tubes. Here's the big story that I wanted everybody to hear today. We've heard the excuse for years. I don't wear Crocs for the looks. I wear them for the support. Now, you know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about those shoes.
Like those rubber flip-flop thingies. Yep.
Yeah. Do you have some?
My daughter does. I do not wear them, no.
Frank, do you have one?
No.
No
Never
way.
owned a pair.
No way.
No way. Okay. Do you have Crocs?
No, I'm a normal, rational thinking person. No.
I see. Well, apparently, some podiatrists say otherwise. Those rubbery, sad-to-admit, trend-setting footwear are not ideal for everyday use. So I just saved you, well, years and years worth of foot doctor.
Podiatry bills.
Yeah. But
I didn't know anybody wore those as though I thought they were just all about the comfort. Because they're slip-on, you don't got to wear socks. You just grab them, they go. They're waterproof or whatever. They're easy.
Well, they're heavily used in kitchens. Okay, when you go to a restaurant and you go back into there, they're there a lot because
are
waterproof,
they like skid-proof.
Yeah, they don't
fall slip-proof.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's not good because folks in kitchens stand for a long time. I expect.
Yeah, but they're not good for your feet. All right.
Well, there you go. Throw them out.
A big fire in Ames today. Did you hear about this?
Oh, please say it was not at Hickory Park because we are so going there tonight.
Hickory Park burned down.
I'm going back to North Carolina.
I was going to say, that's like 50% of the reason you come, so yes.
No. Ames authorities are working to account for residents of an apartment complex where fire broke out early this morning. 80 residents, many of whom are Iowa State University students, were evacuated from the 33-unit apartment complex in the 300 block of South 4th. Happened about 4 o'clock this morning. Some had to be rescued from balconies by the Ames Fire Department. Others made their own way out of the building, but didn't stay on scene to be counted. So now there's people, they don't know whether they got out or not.
Oh, my goodness.
City of Ames spokesperson Susan Guista couldn't say how many were missing as of 7 a.m., but the city is urging anyone who didn't visit with firefighters or law enforcement to check in to the City Hall at 515 Clark. So if you're listening to the sound of my voice and you were at that fire or you live there, please get a hold of City Hall in Ames and let them know where you are, because this is it's kind of weird, you know. I mean, what do you do if you're a fire official? You got to make sure everybody's all right.
Oh, absolutely. And you just think of mom and dad. I mean, you know, when I don't know what you were like when you were a college student, but, you know, who knows where you are, right? It's college days. Right. Summer just started. You could be at a friend's house. You could be out of town. You could be traveling. You could be at the lake, and your apartment caught on fire, and then everybody's looking for you, and you're just not paying attention.
Sure, it's near campus, and campus is probably just recently let out, too. So
right.
A lot of folks students have taken off for parts unknown.
Yep. All right.
So at least call mom and dad, if not also the fire department and the police department.
Yeah, but I mean, I think this is important. If you know somebody who lived in this building and you saw them earlier today and now they're off working or something, call them and tell them we need a head count.
Yeah, what was the apartment you said, South 4th? So it's over by, that's over by Duff then, isn't it?
Yeah, 300 block of South 4th Street. So I don't know Ames like that. I don't have any idea.
If I'm thinking of that right, I think that's Townie side, so that's near Duff, I think, if I'm thinking of that in the right place. But anyway.
Okay. All right. By the way, Weiss Merkel will be in today to talk retirement. I've done some homework. I know that shocks you when I do homework.
I'm totally floored.
But I did some homework so I can intelligently talk to them and they can help me understand about the services that they provide. By the way, their next thing is coming up this Thursday, right? 6th, 7th, 8th.
That's the Empowerment University is on the 8th?
Yeah, I think it's this Thursday, but we'll find out when they're here. All right. Governor Terry Branstad said today, are you ready? Mm-hmm. Just when you thought the caucuses were over and no politics around us. Governor Terry Branstad said today that Donald Trump's recent comments attacking federal judge Gonzalo Crucial are inappropriate, though Branstad said he does not believe the presumptive, I can say that word, but I can't read it, presumptive, Republican nominee for president is racist. He does not believe that Donald Trump is a racist. You with me on that?
Oh, I was about to write down that Terry Branstad thought he was racist. He's saying no, he does not.
No, he does not. Though Branstad said he does not believe that Trump is racist. Most people that know Donald Trump know that he's not a racist and that he's had tremendous relationships with minorities, and he has a lot of minorities and women that have been in key positions in their business.
What was that video, Frank? You probably saw it. Donald Trump at one of his rallies, and he pointed out the African American,
My black guy.
Look, there's my African American. See, there he is.
He said that?
He absolutely said that. He pointed out the one standing in the crowd. See, there he is, the African American, my African American.
When was this?
Over the weekend.
It was over the weekend, wasn't it?
Oh my heavens! Are you kidding me?
No, he just sounded like a complete buffoon. I don't remember why he brought it up, but he was defending people at his rallies being violent. He was defending people at his rallies not being violent, that everybody's really nice and whatever and this and that. And, the African Americans love me. And he goes, look, there's my African American right there. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, it's great. If you haven't, I don't know what you would Google search, but it's funny.
Trump says that's my African American. I'll guarantee you.
If you Google that, you can find it. It's quite hilarious. And then Eric Erickson, he is a podcast and writer. Eric Erickson, he's a Red State guy, isn't he?
Yeah, but he's a staunchly hates Trump.
He tweeted and kind of made allusion to that, and he got ridiculed for mocking Trump. But yeah, that was his big smart thing to say over the weekend. One of his many.
All right, we are going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about Donald Trump a little bit, because I think it's time to really, let this cat out of the bag. We're coming back live on The Truth.
Credit cards are like grandkids. They love you, sometimes get out of control, and it's fun to get a new one. Who can stop them from piling on?
Hi, I'm Tom Coates with Consumer Credit of Des Moines. At the end of the day, you can return the grandkids, but you're stuck paying off bad credit card debt. We'll help you put the fun back into using credit cards responsibly. Right, kids?
Yeah! If you need help getting credit cards off your back, call Consumer Credit of Des Moines.
Hi, my name is David Burrier, your Hope Coach. I host a live weekly talk show called I've Been There every Thursday afternoon at 5:30, right here on webcast1live.com, and on my weekly radio program Saturday mornings at 10 on Truth Network 99.3 FM. I interview common everyday people who have survived incredible life challenges and who testify to God's faithfulness in the midst of their storms. So join me as we bring a message of hope and encouragement. Everybody needs hope. I know, because I've been there.
Hey everybody, I brought Northern Lights Pizza, and it's got Graziano sausage.
Rock and Prevention is celebrating 25 years of creating a caring community. We want to say thank you to the tens of thousands of Rock High School mentors that have carried our message of health, love, and encouragement to over 1.5 million children, teachers, and parents. Our mentors teach children methods and skills to prevent bullying and drug use. Thank you to all the school administrators, teachers, and counselors for their opportunity to serve you. Rock on, fair citizens. Rock on. This is Pat McManus for Rock and Prevention, the Richard O. Jacobson Foundation, and this station.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live. From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
21 minutes after 3 o'clock, 3:21 in the afternoon, live in Max World on the 6th day of June in the Lord's year 2016. We have a full studio today, including our Chief Operating Officer. Is that right?
It's dramatic, isn't it?
I just want to make sure I get it right.
That is correct.
Chief, because if I'm going to kiss your butt, I'm going to do it right.
But I just operate things.
But you do a good job, brother. I do have some issues with a couple of
my hires.
Yeah. Well, we need to talk about that though. And you're actually going to Ames tonight to simply get Hickory Park.
Oh, without a doubt. Everybody thinks the best barbecue in America is in North Carolina. Certainly everybody in the South thinks they have the best barbecue.
Everybody in the South
Carolina
thinks they do.
kind of has this chopped barbecue thing it's almost a religion unto itself. And I came here the first time a couple of years ago to visit the station, and Chris took me to Hickory Park, and I've sworn off Carolina barbecue. I mean, Hickory Park blows away Carolina barbecue.
It's that good.
And you know what I've done? I posted on Facebook that I was on the air right now, and I might have listeners in North Carolina. What have I done?
What have you done? The cat is out of the bag. That's the real breaking news right there.
If not, we will make sure that the podcast is sent out to everyone in the state.
Marvelous.
Not Iowa.
Hickory Park is phenomenal. It's a fixture. When we come here, we love to go there. We go every night that we're here if we can.
Oh, good heavens.
Well, there's this constant debate about Texas barbecue, North Carolina barbecue, Kansas City barbecue. What does Hickory Park closely resemble if you're a connoisseur of barbecue?
I think Hickory Park is closer to Memphis style, or a Kansas City style, that sort of central or Tennessee, Missouri thing. But it's not really like the honey-based or at all like the vinegar-based barbecue in North Carolina. There are warring factions in the barbecue wars in North Carolina. The eastern part of the state is vinegar-based, and the western part of the state is honey and molasses-based.
So, are you a rub guy or a sauce? Sauce.
Well, in North Carolina, you would call that dip. And yeah, I'm a dip guy. Well, when I get shop barbecue in North Carolina, I pour the dip on it.
Well, I take that back. A rub or a marinade guy. And then would you have your barbecue cooked on or aside?
Cooked on?
In other words, basted with barbecue as you're cooking, or would you have the barbecue as a side to be dipped?
No, it would be cooked on, but they roast. The pigs are usually smoked, and it's usually a 48-hour process in North Carolina as they're shaving them as they cook them. So, it's kind of a rotisserie. In a lot of places, they're pit smoking them, and they're literally in pits in the ground and building fires under them, smoking them. There's a smoke flavor to all of them. And then, based on your preference, east or west, what you put on it on top of that.
The exciting things you discover when you're listening to Max World. Dip. Never heard that. All right, I want to talk about Donald Trump and some of the amazing, bizarre stuff that's going on right now, but I also need to tell you about Seth Walker. Again, this weekend, a lot of people were out and about. Maybe you drove by a house that you thought, hey, I'd like that house. Your wife went, oh, that's so cool. Or your husband went, wow, did you see the backyard in that one? I'd love to mow that yard. Well, all you got to do is call Seth Walker, 577-3728. He asked me to invite you into his world of professional realtors. And I'm not going to talk about what isn't professional. I'm just going to tell you why you should work with him. And that's A, he's honest. B, can I say this? He loves Jesus. And I think it's important when you're making one of the largest purchases of your life that you are with somebody that you can trust. He works for Rob Spearman. Rob's top-notch guy. So call Seth when you get a chance. I'm even going to let Frank do this for me. Call Seth Walker at
577-3728.
What was that number again, Frank?
515-577-3728.
And, of course, thank you, Frank. All right, Chris, I'm going to take that phone away from you. You're like a girl. Here.
It is for the show, sir.
It is? Okay.
Yes, it's relevant. But you are going to start. It's for after you talk. It's not for before you talk. It's
after I talk?
You talk first, then me.
Okay, I'm talking.
First you, then me.
I'm talking.
You talk first, and then me.
I'm talking.
Right. You go ahead now.
Governor Branstad said on Monday, that was earlier this morning, that Donald Trump is not a racist, but he thought that the comments made to a federal judge were inappropriate. Most people that know Donald Trump know he's not a racist and that he's had tremendous relationships with minorities. Branstad is saying this. Branstad, our governor, is saying this. Curiel, I believe that's how you pronounce this name, who was born in Indiana to Latino parents, is presiding over a lawsuit that accuses Trump University of fraud. Trump has repeatedly called on Curiel to recuse, thank you, himself from the case, saying his Mexican heritage creates an inherent conflict of interest. Oh, my heavens. You couldn't write this stuff, could you? This judge is giving us unfair rulings, Trump said in an interview with CNN's Jake Tapper. Now, I say why. Well, I'm building a wall, okay? And it's a wall between Mexico and not another country. Seriously?
Hey, man, that's your president.
My president?
Your future president there.
No, I think Mr. Frank's all in.
Oh, Frank's
Mr.
all in.
Trump.
Okay, Frank, that's your guy, man.
Well,
that's articulation right there. That's almost as good as me talking.
Trump said Sunday it's possible we would have the same concerns with a Muslim judge. Trump has proposed a temporary ban on Muslims entering the United States as a way to combat terrorism. Democrats have widely condemned the comments as racist. I just can't believe that we are in 2016 and this is the most important thing we can be talking about is someone's heritage and whether they are racist or not. Speaking of racism.
Yes. Well, for those who love Trump, there's an old saying, dance with what brought you to the dance. Now, there's a lot of advisors on the GOP side, Bill O'Reilly, etc., who are trying to get Trump to be more presidential, quote. But if he turns to be presidential, that is going to tick off all his supporters because they are voting exactly for Trump because Trump says it like it is, according to them. And they like his plain, blunt style, and they're not going to care whether he has offended this judge or whatever. So they're just going to go with it.
All right. I just cannot continue to read this and not read it out loud. Tapper pressed Trump like a good journalist should. Quote, if you are saying he can't do his job because of his race, is that not the definition of racism? To which Trump said, no, I don't think so at all.
He feels the judge has a bias against him because he announced that he's going to build a wall and a wall between the United States and Mexico to keep illegal immigration out. That's what Trump's excuse is. He feels this judge is biased against him. Because you feel somebody has a bias against you doesn't necessarily make you a racist.
But he believes he has that bias because of his race, not because of any of his actions or anything that he's done.
Oh, hang on a second there, Chris. I'm wondering how long we let it go on before we look at the judge instead of looking at Trump. Did you know that the judge is a Barack Obama appointee? Did you know that the judge ruled
yes
in favor? The judge ruled that the Trump University people would be allowed to make a class action lawsuit out of the lawsuit that they had against Trump. And he appointed the 2 co-counsels for the class. Do you know who those co-counsels were? Heavy Democratic contributors. The guy has an absolute conflict of interest in this. Trump is absolutely right. His conflict of interest is laying all over him. He's one of La Raza. You know who La Raza is. Those are the guys down there at the border where he practices, Southern California. This judge is from Southern California. He's hearing cases about border incursions and things like that. He is being honored by La Raza as supporting the people. He doesn't want a closed border policy. Trump's absolutely right. The guy is completely biased against him. He also has the worst way of shoving his foot in his mouth when he's trying to explain that. He ought to tell people to look up the guy's record on the case against Trump University rather than to say things in soundbite form.
Now, the judge is supposed to be American-born, but supposedly was his parents illegal immigrants?
Right. His parents were immigrants, could be illegal immigrants. I haven't got their birth certificates. But, the point is, the guy he is a long-time Democrat.
Yeah.
He helps out campaign, basically, as a sitting federal judge, he just pumped millions of dollars to this law firm who pumps hundreds of thousands of dollars to Democrat politicians.
So shouldn't he recuse himself?
Absolutely. He should have been gone from this case a long time ago, which is why Trump is so upset. The guy should have been gone from the case a long time ago, but what is evident to most normal Americans is not evident to politicians who are used to talking around it. Going back to Trump again, not being a Washington insider, saying what he feels, letting it spill out, and it resonates with people who say, yeah, the guy who appointed the counsel against you in your case shouldn't be hearing the case. I mean, that's common sense. The judge who appointed your opposition should not be allowed to hear your case.
Yeah, So why isn't that the message that's being told?
Because he says things so wrong.
Spin.
But even in this that I took from the Des Moines Register. Maybe that's my problem. Nowhere in this is that information there.
Well, because the story's not about the details. The story is about Trump being a racist. I mean, that's the story. I mean, that's what people want to run. That's what people want to hear.
That's what sells.
That's what sells, right? And that's what Jake Tapper did. Jake Tapper just tried to corner Trump.
You mean Jake Tapper, the former administration official? But I thought he was a third-party journalist in this.
Former administration. Was he Clinton?
Jake Tapper was a chief of White House spokesman.
For
Obama.
Oh, okay.
Early in the term, first 2 years, right?
And these guys are an arm of the Elect Hillary campaign. Most of the what they call standard media, the mainstream media, is an arm of the Elect Hillary campaign.
I want to go, but I want to echo something Mike said, though. Mike made a really great case, details of which I did not know about this judge. And here kind of goes to my concern for Donald Trump, though. Donald Trump isn't articulating these things like you did now, Mike, or other people have. I think, in fact, now that you mentioned that, Jay Sekulow has been talking about this earlier today. The details of this are not what Trump is saying, and so Trump ends up sounding like a racist.
Well, actually, Chris, we don't know what he's saying. We know what CNN, NBC, MSNBC, we know what they put on TV. They put on TV the exciting statement. He shouldn't be allowed to be on this case because of his Mexican heritage. That gets on TV. We don't know what Trump completely said about that. We don't know whether he explained that because that's not the part they choose to put on.
Except for that when Jake Tapper asked him, Donald Trump, isn't that the epitome of racism? Donald Trump's answer was no. It's not. But he didn't back that up as far as you can listen to the whole interview. I think it's online.
Sure. If he was a little more savvy, he would have said, no, my problem is not his race. My problem is that he uses his race to support Democrat causes.
All right, let's take a break. We're coming back. This is Mac's World, and we're here every day for you from 3 to 5. 515-244-0077. It's your voice I want to hear live here on The Truth. Yep, The Truth.
Northern Lights Pizza's amazing garlic butter makes amazing breadsticks. Now available in 12-ounce bottles at Northern Lights, Hy-Vee, and Graziano's.
Northern Lights Pizza. I'm Brian Leach, owner of Service Legends, and my position is Chief Talent Officer.
I'm Nicholas Wonderscheid.
I am Bernie Hobbs.
And I'm the Service Manager.
Marketing Director and Client Relations Manager.
Everything that we do is about ensuring that we exceed your expectations.
Our clients are important to us. 100% satisfaction.
We're not just focused on heating and cooling. That's the easiest part of our job, actually, is fixing furnaces and air conditioners.
Everyone that we come in touch with, we want to improve lives.
Bottom line is, we've got our installation guarantees, 25% energy savings guarantee, comfort guarantee, temperature selection guarantee, property protection guarantee.
100% satisfaction guaranteed. Fixed rate or it's free.
All of those guarantees are backed up with a 100% money back guarantee to hold ourselves accountable to making sure that you get what you're after.
Just fixing the problem today. If they have another problem 5 days down the road, it's still fixed rate or it's free.
We use what's called straightforward pricing. Our technicians are going to give you an exact to-the-penny price on what it's going to take before they move forward with any repair. That way you know what to expect.
It's the same price every day.
No surprises.
If you get off work at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, you come home, you realize that, oh, my furnace is broken. Now you need to call somebody out that night. You shouldn't have to pay more for that.
We're guaranteeing service 24/7.
We run afternoons, evenings, nights, weekends. We're staffed to work that.
Phone rings at 3 in the morning. You'll get one of our representatives answering the phone every time.
We're not sending you out to Timbuktu in some call center. It's our Service Legend team members, our mission control team.
I'll take a call anytime.
And then they answer the phones the same way during the day as they do at night.
It's a great day at your service company. How can we make you smile?
That's the only way to provide true 24-hour service.
When you're able to let somebody actually live in their home safely when they weren't able to do that before, where they don't have to stay up at night and worry about, is the heat going to come back on? Are we going to freeze the pipes? Is the baby in the room next door going to be sick because they got too cold? When you're able to help somebody overcome challenges like that, that's impacting a life. That makes a difference. I get goosebumps thinking about it.
I love the team. I love the people that I work with.
We have fun, but we work hard.
I call them my ambassadors of legendary service. If you could just envision what that is, that's who we're sending to your home.
They literally will call in, pick up the phone and call and say, hey, I want to talk to your manager. And I get on the phone, they're like, that technician that was at my house was the greatest technician ever. That's cool to me.
We want to brighten people's days.
Every person that we have going into the house has gone through an extensive background check.
Drug testing, we have a very thorough interview process that 1 out of 140 people make it through.
If we promise you something, that's what you're going to get, no matter what.
We're here when you need us to protect the safety and comfort of your family.
If you're not happy, we're going to make it right.
If we're willing to put 100% money back guarantee on what we do, what type of work do you think we do?
Give us a call. We're there for you 24/7, 365 days a year.
Enough said.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
22 minutes before the top of the hour, 3:38, 6th day of the 6th month in 2016. And as Frank mentioned earlier, today's D-Day. Wow, so many years ago. And you have to be old to remember that. I'll bet if I went down, Bob, and went to the mall downstairs, and I put a microphone in front of people's face, and I said, do you know what D-Day is? I would bet you that everybody under the age of 25 has no concept.
Oh, sure. Well, if you've seen those interviews on TV, they know very little about anything. They don't even know who the president is. Vice president.
Well, why don't you inform us, just in case someone doesn't know?
72 years ago.
Oh, 72 years ago today, we hit the beaches of Normandy.
Yeah.
And we finally went after...
Saddam Hussein? Was that when that was?
No. Jiminy.
Was that
after
when we went
Hitler.
on that?
Hitler.
Oh,
Hitler.
I've heard of that guy.
Adolf Hitler.
Yeah.
You'll probably meet him in heaven.
Andale. Thank God.
Seriously, you don't think?
Thank God that my wife is not in town, and it was not possible for her to hear that. That was like one of the few times the last time. It was like, how many years ago was that you went on that diatribe about Hitler possibly being in heaven? My wife thought her whole brain just about screamed out of her head.
When you say possibly, if the possibility is 0.00001%,
sure,
you can't rule that out.
Right, it's just not very probable.
It's sure not probable, though.
It's not probable. Is it possible? Yes.
You don't spend your whole life destroying God's people and come back gently from that.
But all right.
And we just that was down that road. Boy, howdy, was that a rabbit trail? Oh my goodness.
What show was it this morning? I was telling Chris they were playing a portion of FDR's 6-minute prayer.
Oh,
before he sent the troops.
Yeah,
or as they were going into D-Day.
And is this the day that, as they say, will live in infamy?
No, that is December the 7th, Pearl Harbor,
1941.
That's right. See, I get I often think of this as the Pearl Harbor thing, but this is when we got involved in World War II. Then
World War I.
Sorry, World War I. That's what I said. It's the 1, 2, World War I.
It's okay
with Osama.
And you guys have
with Osama.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and World War I.
Yeah, and let me think. Who else was there? Fred and Barney were there, and and with their little car.
With their little car, yeah.
Yeah, and Bam
Sorry,
Bam.
World War
Boy,
I.
Bam Bam. What a man he's turned out to be.
No, it was
he
World
really
War II because FDR was president.
World War II?
Yeah, you said one. It was two.
I was going to say, because Hitler, right?
50, 60.
Kaiser Wilhelm would have been the...
Hitler is World War II, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I was right. All right.
Okay, you're right.
No, hey, look.
Everybody write it down. At 3:41 on the 6th day of June in 2016.
Well, I'm just saying.
For that moment in time, Mr. Roloff was right.
Now, Chris has to be careful because you were raised and taught in Texas, right?
Yeah.
So you shouldn't be speaking this way.
How do you mean?
Because if anybody from Texas is listening, they would be insulted.
That I don't know that Osama bin Laden was the reason we got into World War II?
Right.
Oh, okay. I should know that then.
515-809-0993. That is the Service Legends Truth text line.
Look, this has gotten so bad our engineer has come into the production room just to laugh at me. He's cracking up.
Mac, I'm rethinking our program schedule on KTIA as we go along here.
Are you? I don't blame you. All right, let's go. We've got a text, and then we've got Army Brad on the phone, so I want to get both of those in before we lose this time.
Yeah, the text is about Trump, which we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, right.
Trump brought up race, not the Democrats this time. He's the Dems' dream. So he made the mistake of bringing up race as opposed to bringing up what the truth is.
See, I agree. I agree with that texter. That's part of the problem with I'm not so much what Trump knows, but the way Trump communicates. He made it. His comment was about the gentleman's race, not about what you said, Mike, not about his affiliation with La Raza or et cetera, and so on. Those are details that you can argue that an intelligent person can present their case. But Trump says unintelligent things and just says, oh, because he's Hispanic,
right.
he's out of the running.
On The Apprentice, they would have had that on the cutting room floor, and they would have had the right take in there. And when it aired on NBC, you would have had the right thing. But when he's live at these things, there's no going back.
Yeah, but that's the point, though. That's what he's saying. It's not that he did not say that. That's what he said. You're insinuating that the media only showed us this thing he said, even though he made a really strong, intelligent case over here, but they're only showing you the really ignorant thing he said. And I think that based on what I've seen Trump repeatedly say, he tends to sound like the ignorant guy who just says inflammatory, racist things.
He is portrayed as that, yeah. By the way, world, I'm not a Trump fan. I'm only defending him in this because of the conflict of interest.
No, I appreciate that. I think it's important.
Well, no, I think you bring up great stuff. I'm just disappointed that Trump didn't bring it up. That's my point. My point is, this is what I would want Trump to bring up those things rather than make it about, as the texter said, about the gentleman's race.
Do you think they'd air that though?
I think that if that was his consistent narrative, yes. But I don't think that's his consistent narrative. As I talked about earlier, when he's at his own rally and he says, look, there's my African American. You know what I'm talking about. I mean, the guy says seemingly ignorant, racist stuff.
Sure, but Mac, they'd air it. Limbaugh would air it. Hannity would air it. O'Reilly would air it. Fox would air it.
Yeah.
But ABC, NBC, MSNBC, they wouldn't air it. It's the same thing that it has been since we split off into D's and R's. Both sides report what is best for them to report.
515-244-0077. That's the number you can call. It is your voice I want to hear. First, let's go to the Service Legends Truth text line at 515-809-0993. Robert, what do we got?
Oh, I thought you were going to Brad. I was not listening to you there. Someone said,
Bob, you never listened. I'm 3 feet from you.
I'm so into reading text and responding and carrying on a conversation.
Right, go ahead.
Somebody said, did you know that Hitler was raised Roman Catholic?
No, why would that?
Oh, you can get anything from a text, can't you?
Why? All right, let's go to the phones where Army Brad, the 7-star general and head of security and national defense here in Mac's World. Brad, how are you?
Good. How are you, Mac?
Good. I hear you and Bob had a nice lunch over the weekend.
Yes, we did.
In Joplin.
Joplin, Missouri. Yes, sir.
Yep.
What kind of barbecue did you have?
Didn't.
Oh, that's
too
bad.
We had some Outback.
Steaks.
Ooh.
That's good stuff.
Yeah,
it was good.
Mac, here's what I wanted to say, and especially listening to what Chris just said.
Yeah.
The narrative that I heard back when you were supporting Trump, I said, you know what? This doesn't make any sense that he's a racist and all these things. So I stopped listening to what the media said about him and went directly to his statements in their entirety, listened to those, and it wasn't the same thing. The media is doing an injustice to the American people by presenting clips out of it and then saying that is the whole narrative of what he said. He may have said those 3 words that Chris is now saying is, oh, that's what he said, in a whole long list of things of why this guy should have reclused himself. Yeah, he probably did say those 3 words, and that's what they're saying, that, oh, he shouldn't do it because of this alone. And when we hear the whole story on Trump, it turns out to be something completely different because he's not a racist. There's no way he could be successful in New York City in the real estate and across the world if he was a racist and all these terrible things. And then when you listen to him, everything that he says in the entirety, you go, oh, hold on, that makes sense. Yes, radical Islam is a problem. We should suspend immigration until we can vet the people that are coming in. What part of that sounds racist and extreme? None of it.
Only if you're a Democrat.
Well, even if you're a Democrat, because when people actually hear what the man says, they go, oh, yeah, that does make sense. And in this issue, that judge should have never been involved with that, with the personal input that he had in everything else that's involved with it. He should have reclused himself if he was an honest judge. He didn't. He continued to go after somebody for political reasons. And then the narrative is, oh, no, the judge is fine. He just happens to be Hispanic. Well, the judge is the one that's wrong. The media is presenting the story upside down to make the Democrats look better, and Chris is buying it. Maybe he trusts our media. I no longer trust our media because of their actions and what they've done.
All right, Brad, I'm up against a hard break, man. I appreciate you calling. Thanks for listening. Lisa in Des Moines, you are coming first caller after this short break, and then we'll be back live in Mac's World on The Truth.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
Credit cards are like grandkids. They love you, sometimes get out of control, and it's fun to get a new one. Who can stop them from piling on?
Hi, I'm Tom Coates with Consumer Credit of Des Moines. At the end of the day, you can return the grandkids, but you're stuck paying off bad credit card debt. We'll help you put the fun back into using credit cards responsibly. Right, kids?
Yeah! If you need help getting credit cards off your back, call Consumer Credit of Des Moines.
Rockton Prevention is celebrating 25 years of creating a caring community. We want to say thank you to the tens of thousands of Rock High School mentors that have carried our message of health, love, and encouragement to over 1.5 million children, teachers, and parents. Our mentors teach children methods and skills to prevent bullying and drug use. Thank you to all the school administrators, teachers, and counselors for the opportunity to serve you. Rock on, fair citizens. Rock on. This is Pat McManus for Rockton Prevention, the Richard O. Jacobson Foundation, and this station.
Northern Lights Pizza, your home of the tasty crust. Our garlic butter sauce now available in 12-ounce bottles at Northern Lights, Hy-Vee, and Graziano's.
Northern Lights Pizza.
Hi, my name is David Burrier, your Hope Coach. I host a live weekly talk show called I've Been There every Thursday afternoon at 5:30, right here on webcast1live.com, and on my weekly radio program Saturday mornings at 10 on Truth Network 99.3 FM. I interview common everyday people who have survived incredible life challenges and who testify to God's faithfulness in the midst of their storms. So join me as we bring a message of hope and encouragement. Everybody needs hope. I know, because I've been there.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live. From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
All right, 10 minutes before 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock, it is Salem Radio Network News, and then Weiss Merkel will be in. I've done some research, just so Chris ever thinks I do any research, on some retirement stuff. Do you know how old you can wait? Or no, do you know how old you can wait to be before you start retirement? Boy, that didn't come out right at all.
70.
70 and a half.
You just had to disagree with me.
Yeah, well, you said 70. It's not 70. It's 70.5.
That's funny.
All right, let's go to the phones where Lisa is standing by. Lisa in Des Moines, you're live in Mac's World. How you doing today?
Fine. Hi, Mac. How are you?
Good. Thanks for hanging on through the break. I appreciate you.
You bet. I guess my question is why would... Okay, he has a choice to say two things. He can have the choice to say why the man should recuse himself. Obviously, he should. And it's a logical reason, and pretty much any Democrat would probably think the same thing. I mean, it's clearly a conflict of interest. But he says that. He could say something intelligent and give facts and logic, but he says that. My question is why? Who does he say that for?
Well, because he's a flawed candidate. I mean, everybody's got their flaws. Trump's, one of his biggest strengths is also his biggest weakness. He's very, very straightforward, but it becomes a flaw when that straightforward doesn't go through a filter. So he's very strong with it because it connects with people like no candidate in a long time has, but he can get hurt by it.
But why is that the straightforward message when clearly it's not true? So why would he even say that when it really doesn't have anything to do with it? The fact that the judge is a flaming liberal and, ruled against him. So that's the fact.
Jack.
Why would he say the other thing?
Lisa, I think he says it so that we talk about it. I mean, I think he talks that way so that he continues to get the media coverage because I think, unfortunately, at the end of the day, this is all about Trump's name being on top of everybody's mind, having top-of-mind awareness, being on everybody's lips so that we're constantly talking about him because Donald Trump has proven over and over again he can't do anything to screw this up. We've talked about this before, Mac. He insulted every one of his supporters when he said I could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot someone dead and they would still support me. He insulted them to their face.
That's why.
And yet Donald Trump supporters continue to support him. He can't do anything to mess this up. So if he says something shocking and extreme, he just gets more airtime, and that's good business from Trump's perspective.
Okay,
that's why I think he does it.
So he's going to sacrifice the Republic. Of course, then again, I don't know that he's a Republican anyway. But, so he's the Republican candidate, so he's going to sacrifice the presidency just to further his own agenda of more business. Because, I mean, and like he doesn't have enough money already. I just don't understand. Maybe I'm naive.
But his agenda is to become president.
How is he going to do that when he keeps saying stupid things?
Have you seen every poll that has him neck and neck, dead even with her? I think he's doing okay right now. Again,
and by the way, you're not a Trump supporter.
I'm not a Trump supporter, but
I'm not either.
As an outside observer of it, he's doing okay with it because everybody senses that he is gut level honest, even though he's sometimes as gut level dumb when he talks as your Uncle Louie at the family picnic who just can't stop saying things.
But that's what's making him popular.
But when he says racist, horribly racist stuff, what does that say about America?
Yep. Yeah, that's
all I'm trying to say. Who is he playing to, and what does that say about America? I mean, that's sad.
Yeah, Lisa, that's Right now, you're getting.
I'm applauding you, Lisa. I'm applauding you. I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you guys have a good day.
Hey, thanks, Lisa, for listening. I appreciate you.
Yes. All right. Thanks.
515-244-0077. That's the number you can call. Or you can text your message in at 515-809-0993, the Service Legends Truth Text Line. Frank?
I believe that I have found the article. I have it in my Facebook account of what Trump was referencing as to the criticism he was getting that his voters were fanatics, and that if he went out and shot somebody on Fifth Street, they would probably still vote for him. He was condemning the media for condemning his voters and his followers. And he was referencing an article. I believe I found that article, and I will try to post it on Facebook today.
All right, Bob, do we have another text? Oh, yeah, I want you to read that one text that you didn't think we should read.
Okay, it says Hillary is evil. She's a murderess, a traitor, and a criminal of the highest order. And you never bash her, you only bash Trump.
Tune in to Tom Coates and Frank the Verse on Tuesdays, and there will be plenty of Hillary bashing.
What? It's Frank's world now. What am I? Chopped liver?
You are the facilitator of the bashing.
I see. All right.
I've got another text that talks about why Trump would mention race. It says he talks about his race to energize some of the racists who support him.
He talks about his race.
The judge's race.
He talks about the judge's race.
To energize some of the racists who support him.
I don't think that's right.
Wrong.
I'm just saying.
Okay. Well, no, I appreciate the information, and
I would say that President Barack Obama, our current sitting president, has done a lot in the last 8 years to increase racial tension. I think he's increased racial tension in the United States, and I think Donald Trump is just going to continue to feed the racial tension in the United States.
So you think Barack Obama is energizing the people who are racist that follow him?
I think that his, by the very nature of him being elected, I think that a segment of our population have been empowered.
Okay, if someone's terrified that Donald Trump is trying to appeal to racist people who theoretically are the anti-Hispanic, anti-African American, and that's a bad thing. But when Barack Obama appeals on the basis of race for civil disobedience against white people, aren't you going to apply the same label to him?
Yes.
And why won't anyone in the media?
Well, because you can't. You're not allowed to.
Right.
I have heard pundits say that the whole 1% thing was orchestrated by the Democrats to paint Romney as an out-of-touch rich guy in the last campaign, and that same pundits are saying that the Black Lives Matter is the same thing this campaign, to run against any generic Republican. It's all been orchestrated to paint whatever the Republican was, and especially Donald Trump, because he has a tendency, like Michael says, to once in a while put his foot in his mouth. So he's playing the part. But this would have been ran against Cruz. It would have been ran against Rubio. It would have been ran against anyone.
This is just
all
a playbook.
been erased.
It's just a playbook.
Agreed.
It's just the playbook.
Agreed.
Yeah, I would agree with that,
this is when
too.
demonstrators show up at a rally burning American flags and throwing and punching and throwing things at people. They were coming to the rally. It doesn't matter if it was a Trump rally, a Cruz rally, a Fiorina rally. They were paid to come to the rally.
All right, top of the hour, Salem Radio Network News, and then we'll be back here live in Mac's World. Thanks for listening. I don't know if I've told you this lately, but I love this job, and I could not do it without you, the listener. Whether we agree or disagree, you are vital to this program, and I appreciate that you're here. Jeb is producing, Mike's here, Chris is here, Bob's here, and Frank's really here. And I'll see you on the backside of the break, live here in Mac's World.